I can't tell you. I'm gobsmacked, as my grandmother would say. I'm so happy. I can't tell you.
I mean, you've had a relationship with the president, right? You wrote a book on Trumponomics. Why are you surprised?
Yeah, Steve Moore and I did a book on Trumponomics, of sort of the evolution of his campaign and the economics in that campaign. And, it was loads of fun doing it. And Larry Kudlow was obviously with us a lot as well. And it was terrific doing that. And I'm very pleased with the economics of this president. I think he's doing a great job.
Of course, you're most well known for the Laffer curve and your work that you've done on tax rates. Where do you stand at the moment for the level that we see that the president's imposed versus the higher levels that perhaps some Democratic candidates are pining for ahead of the 2020 race?
Well, I think the signature issue of this administration in fiscal policy has been the tax bill of 2017, December, I think, 22nd. And that was just a phenomenal tax bill, brought our corporate tax rate back into line with the rest of the world. And the fruits of that tax bill are being seen everywhere. The economic growth is clearly a consequence of that tax bill. And it's really amazing. Now, when you look at the Democratic candidates, some of them want to rescind it and repeal it. Some of them want to put on wealth taxes. Some of them want to raise the marginal rates on the rich. That would be devastating to the economy and devastating to employment output and production and the stock market. I mean, if they were elected and actually did that, I honestly don't think they're going to do it, but it would be devastating if they were to.
Aren't tariffs devastating as well? Aren't they just taxes on the consumer?
Tariffs are a tax on trade. That's what they are, and they aren't good. They do hurt the economy. You see the market's responses here. Now, the question is this a strategy to get to lower tariffs everywhere in the world? And, the president has made it clear that that's his goal and his mission, and I hope it is, and I expect it will be, and I expect he'll be very successful in getting good trade deals with China and with Japan as well as Canada and Mexico. I'm really very hopeful that will be the case in the longer run. But in the short run, these tariffs are no fun at all.
If your mission was to reduce inequality and you were trying to assess what tax would be the best one to increase, whether it was at the margin or significantly, which one would it be?
What I would do is I'd have a low-rate, broad-based flat tax, just like I did with Jerry Brown when he ran for president in 1992. Get rid of all federal taxes, all of them. You get rid of the personal income tax, get rid of the corporate tax, get rid of all payroll taxes, employer and employee, and have two flat-rate taxes, one on business net sales and one on personal unadjusted gross income. If you did that, you could match all revenues today statically now with no Laffer curve effect at about 12%. And that would be the best tax to create economic growth, which is the only way I know of reducing income inequality.
So, Art, just to follow up on the tariff point, what do you think about using tariffs like the president is threatening to do with Mexico here as not to improve a trade relationship, but for immigration policy?
Well, you see, there are all sorts of mixes in the policies, and I don't really have a strong view on either way on whether you should use a tariff policy for immigration policy. It's just, it's outside of my range. But people have used tariffs for all sorts of things over the years. I remember when Reagan put on tariffs on Japanese steel and autos. We had that in the Nixon administration. There were tariffs across the board, the 10% import surcharge. And, usually tariffs, when they're done for long-term anti-competition, they don't work. But when they're done to negotiate, to bring in better trade deals, I think they can work. I mean, I think the Kennedy round was one of the finest trade deals we've ever done in this country. And, I think Trump is trying to get some sort of good trade policy that would match that.